Hi everyone, I'm Tony Stark. You might know me better as the Invincible Iron Man. We're going to go and take a look at Disney Infinity 2.0. I wish I could put my arm down, but sadly, I'm stuck like this. So the way this works is really simple. I just stand right here and I get sucked into the game world. It's pretty damn cool. And this over here is where another player can join in on the fun. That's right, this game supports 2-player local co-op. It's pretty awesome. And this over here, well, that's where you put one of 3 currently available play sets. And it works like a dream. You can take me off, put another character on, and poof, in the game, I would disappear and the next character would come on. Same is true for the play sets, and you can even purchase additional packs that contain power discs. These go underneath me and they give me special powers. So let's take a look at one right now, shall we? Alright, this is the Avengers Tower. And it's also the Avengers playset. Oh, now there's an enemy cat here. I'm going to blast him. See? Works like a charm. So, you have your choice. You can play with the Avengers Tower, or you can purchase the Guardians of the Galaxy playset, or maybe you want to purchase the Spider-Man playset. Just be warned, I only work with this playset by default. If you want to use me in some of the other playsets, well, you'll have to go to DisneyInfinity.com and check out if I'm available in those other playsets. Not only that, but if I am available in those playsets, well, you're going to have to pick up some special coins in the game to allow me to work across multiple playsets. Sounds confusing? Don't worry. That Jared guy will explain all of it momentarily. But I wanted to show you a few other things first. So let's remove the playset here. And let's put on one of these special power disc thingies. Thank you, Jared. This here is a toy box mini game. Now, right now, I believe there are only a few. 2 come in the starter pack, but there are a whole bunch of other goodies you can buy. They cost $5 each, and you can go to any toy store to pick up these sorts of discs. But keep in mind, it's completely random, so you don't know what you're actually getting. Alright, let's say hi to 2 of my friends. Well, first person I would like to introduce you all to is another Avenger, the mighty Thor. It is I, the mighty Thor. I am here because I was summoned. Alright, so welcome, Thor. If this was plugged in, which it isn't because that Jared guy is super lazy, what would happen is the 2 of us would appear in-game. Imagine that. Now, sadly, there is no 3 or 4 player local co-op, but maybe in the future. That would be quite spectacular. You have a very weird voice. You shut up. And moving right along. Our 3rd companion in the starter pack is the Black Widow. So let's see how Jared voices her. Hello, I am Natasha Romanoff, and I too am an Avenger. Unfortunately, I don't know why I'm talking like this at all. I need to be more feminine. There, that's a little bit better. Alright, that didn't work quite as well as I thought. But we are the 3 Avengers that are currently available in the starter pack. Each one of us, well, we all have our different moves and our different play styles in Disney Infinity 2.0. So first, let's get Jared to do a once-over on each one of these figures and then tell us a little bit more about the game. Thanks for watching, everyone, and Avengers Assemble! I do not like listening to you. You boys suck. I'm leaving. God, I hate this pose. Well, thank you, Iron Man. It's Jared here, and I am going to be taking a look at the individual figures that were released in the Disney Infinity 2.0 starter pack. So first we're going to look at our main man here, which is Iron Man. And as you can see, if you look really close at the figure, you'll notice that there's a lot of details in the sculpt itself. He's got, he's got really nice faceplate there. You can see the abs. Now, unfortunately, the one thing that I don't like about these figures is the fact that there's no articulation whatsoever. Now, granted, they are $14 each if you want to buy additional characters, so I guess you could say, yeah, it's sort of understandable. Now, I'm just going to rotate this guy around, and you can see all the different decals here. I really thought their arms would move because you've got these grooves in here and in here, but alas, no, there's no movement. There's no movement whatsoever. Anyways, so here is Iron Man. It's pretty cool. And underneath, this is basically how the character is saved. My goodness, there's a lot of noise out here. But if you look, you see it says Marvel 2.0. This is the Disney Infinity. This is a little chip that basically allows you to save data onto the character. So as you level, you can bring this character to a friend's house and away you go. Alright, next up we have the mighty Thor, as he would say. And Thor, he's got a very nice sculpt on him as we go around here. I did notice, unfortunately, back here, I don't know how well this is going to pick up in the camera, but you see there's a little bit of paint chipping there. It's a little bit unfortunate. Let me just refocus the camera here. He's got a really nice sculpt to him. I really like how Thor looks. He's got a nice face, really good sculpt, good detailing here. It's just, there's some things, again, like look at the hammer. You see the way his hand has a little blue speck. It's just some minor paint issues like that, but overall it's not bad. And I find he looks quite good, quite detailed, and he's actually a really fun character to play in the game. All right, finally we come to the Black Widow, and her pose is really odd. If I were to grab like Thor beside her, as you can see, like the pose it's unfortunate that she's so low to the ground. And this is where if there was some articulation, if I could move her a little bit, because, I mean, she is detailed. Look at the revolver or the gun. It's quite detailed, and I like the lines in her back on her uniform. The hair is really nice. I mean, it's a good sculpt. It's a nice sculpt. It's just that because of the way they have her posed, she's significantly smaller than either Thor or Iron Man. Sorry about the shaky cam here. You see what I mean? She's quite low. So I do like the pose. It's just, again, she's just a little bit too low to the ground. So there we have it, guys. That's all three of the Avengers that are in the starter pack. I mean, my goodness, I have to go quite low here. You get to see the entire backdrop. Well, that's okay. So here, let's put this down. Get to see my lovely TV. And so there we have it. There are the three Avengers featured in the starter pack of Disney Infinity 2.0. Now let's go ahead and jump on in and take a look at the game.
I'll attempt to activate security systems while you and your team make your way to the lab.
The mission guide indicates the direction and distance to your next mission objective.
Last year when I played Disney Infinity, I thought it was the absolute perfect game for young children. I mean, what was there not to like about it? You had physical toys that the kids could play with, and then those toys and the stories that would be wrapped around playing with those toys could then be transferred into a limitless toy box. Sure, it had a couple of problems, but overall it was a genius concept. And yes, of course, it borrowed heavily from the Skylander series, but hey, it's Disney, so they have a lot more characters that people know about. Well, this year they have added the Marvel license to the mix to great effect. First off, the Toy Box mode. That's the mode that allows you to be very creative and customize your own games, your own maps, your own everything. Well, that whole mode has been completely reworked. Now you have themes, you've got really clever building blocks to make something really unique that the kids are really going to enjoy. I also really appreciated the fact that now the starter pack for the Avengers anyway, it includes not only one playset, but 3 action figures, Thor, Iron Man, and Black Widow. And what's great about this is that this time around, 2 kids can play together right out of the box, whereas last time it included 3 playsets, but only 1 character per playset. Okay, if you're getting all confused how this works, let me just explain this in a really quick nutshell. Each playset has a certain number of corresponding characters. So for example, the Avengers playset, all 3 of the characters that come in the starter pack can play in that playset. But let's say you go out and buy the Guardians of the Galaxy playset. Well, you'll have to go to DisneyInfinity.com in order to check out whether or not those same characters that come in the starter pack can actually be used in additional playsets. As I've already discussed, the figures themselves look and feel really great. They're really high quality, and your kids will have a really good time just playing with the figures, forget about the whole game. Each character feels completely different than the last, so when you do play with all these different characters in the game, you'll get a really different gameplay experience. Each character has a level cap of 20, and yes, if you are not a newcomer to the series, if you did play Disney Infinity 1.0, well, good news, all of those characters are playable in the Toy Box mode of Disney Infinity 2.0. Meaning they get the level cap increased to 20, and they all get the new skill tree progression, which is great because it does give the game a little more depth and allows you to tweak the characters as you see fit in game, and I really enjoyed that. There's local co-op for the playsets and online play for the Toy Box mode, and yes, you can still share your Toy Box creations. It's actually made a whole lot easier. And overall, the whole package just looks and feels mighty impressive. This is a really quality product that your children are truly going to enjoy. The starter pack includes the Avengers playset, and it's pretty typical fare. Basically what you do is you have a Grand Theft Auto style open world, and you just take missions, very simple stuff. Just go to this location, say protect this bus, or maybe take out all these frost giants, and it's really that simple. Loki's up to his, old tricks, and he's given frost giants free reign over New York, and it's your job to beat the baddies up, put an end to their shenanigans. It's really that simple, but again, this type of game was not meant for you or I. It's not meant for adults, it's meant for kids, and kids will have an absolute blast. The more you play in the playsets, the more money you earn, which unlocks additional toys for the Toy Box mode, which is what you're going to be spending the majority of your time in, because it's where, you might have Spider-Man and Donald Duck pairing up, taking out countless enemies in a Diablo-style game that you just created, or one that some other fan created and you just happen to download. There are a couple of little minor gripes I can mention, stuff like when playing in co-op the frame rate drops, some texture issues here and there, but for the most part the game looks really nice. Much like the comics, TV shows, movies, children are going to have their favorite characters.
The thing is, what I found with the game is that characters like Iron Man and Thor, who can fly and have all these different abilities, really outshine the characters like Black Widow, who have to use in-game vehicles and elevators to get to rooftops and that sort of thing. I mean, she feels like a normal human being. Not to say that's a bad thing, it's just it doesn't feel, well, she doesn't feel as quote-unquote super as the rest of the superheroes do. Now keep in mind, I have only played with the starter pack, but I will be covering all the other playsets and Marvel superhero characters in the very near future with additional micro reviews. I never really expected Disney Infinity 2.0 to be just as much fun as it really is. This is the perfect game for your children, not only because the toys are excellent and they're fun to play with, but the fact is that this is a really solid game. Could it be better? Naturally it could be better. I'm hoping that in the next iteration, which I'm pretty sure is going to have Star Wars toys, guys. Oh yeah. I think it would benefit the series quite a lot if they could just make the playsets a little more interesting. Just like with the original Disney Infinity, that's pretty much the only aspect of the game that isn't spot on. They just need to make them a little deeper, and I think they'll have just a non-stop winner on their hand. Alright guys, I hope you really enjoyed this review. Be sure to check out projectcoe.com for far more information on Disney Infinity and the full written review. And I'll be back shortly with an extended look at the additional playsets and all the different Marvel superhero characters. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll be back shortly with more on Disney Infinity 2.0.
Use a combination of your traps and combat skills to defeat the invading enemies.
Maybe I should call in some backup. Winning is never overrated.